You're watching ASCRS-ASOA Today.
Hi, this is David Chang, President of ASCRS, and I want to personally welcome you to my hometown of San Francisco for the 2013 ASCRS-ASOA Annual Meeting.
Here we go. The 2013 ASCRS-ASOA Annual Symposium and Congress is officially underway. We are so glad that you are able to join us here in San Francisco as we once again gather to learn, connect, share, and deepen our knowledge of the ever-changing world of ophthalmology. The next 4 days, more than 1,200 speakers and presenters will be focusing on the latest techniques, technologies, research, innovation, and inspiration for anterior segment eye surgeons, ophthalmic practice administrators, nurses and technicians, and just about everyone associated with the world of cataract and refractive surgery. Although there are other meetings in ophthalmology, those who are involved know that the ASCRS-ASOA Annual Symposium and Congress is unique in its diversity, quality of education, and intensity of choices.
No other meeting can compare. There are so many different things going on, and they're all covered here. And all of the different anterior surgical subspecialties, cataract, refractive, cornea, glaucoma, there's at any given time many concurrent courses and symposia and lectures. And so what I think is great, and we know how valuable our time is that every attendee can kind of custom select and custom devise their own program for the time that they're here, so that they spend all of the time devoted to topics that are of particular interest to them. We have the largest faculty, it's an international faculty, and so that is the single most impressive thing to me about our meeting.
Probably the most valuable aspect of the meeting is just the collegiality with my colleagues, being able to sit down in a very informal way and find out what it is that they're doing, what's working for them, what's not working for them. I learned so much from my colleagues and from just talking to people at the meeting, and in every aspect is equally important to all of the educational offerings that are present.
ASCRS may be here in San Francisco this year, but the ASCRS-ASOA meeting is a truly global experience. This year, attendees represent more than 100 countries from around the world, bringing to the meeting voices, insights, and experiences from around the world. But most of all, this meeting here in San Francisco is about you, the attendees, who come together each year to advance the field of ophthalmology as we face new challenges and advances.
ASCRS is really a global meeting in that sense. The attendee can come and get information about the latest techniques in cataract refractive surgery or the latest advances in cataract refractive surgery that are occurring in Spain or in Switzerland or in Asia or in South Africa. And it's a great way to not have to actually travel to those countries to get that information and content.
One of the main functions of ASCRS has been to keep up with not only the new educational trends in what's happening within our specialty, but also to put it into a context that involves all of the political pressures that surround us. And while we may have a very good grasp on how to do a particular procedure, the secondary part of that, which is how to implement it into our practice, how to use it within our practice, how to get it paid for inside of our practice, again, is a very important aspect that the annual meeting provides, not only for the physicians, but also for our administrators and the people that work with us.
The ASCRS-ASOA meeting traditionally begins with the opening general session. Here are a few of the highlights of the Saturday ASCRS and ASOA opening general sessions. watching ASCRS-ASOA Today.
Did you know the rocket frog can accelerate faster than a Ferrari? That's because in nature, as well as the surgical suite, speed is critical. Did you know the Wavelight Refractive Suite is the fastest refractive platform in the U.S.? The integrated Wavelight Refractive Suite features unrivaled 500 Hz excimer laser ablation times in as little as 1.4 seconds per diopter. Precise 200 kHz femtosecond laser custom flap creation in as little as 6 seconds. A 1050 Hz type eye tracker, synchronized at 500 Hz with 2 millisecond latency time, and a broad range of customized patient-specific treatments available. The next evolution in laser refractive performance has arrived with the Wavelight Refractive Suite.
The potential in the refractive market is growing. Care Credit can help you cultivate your share. Find out how at booth number 1820 during the show.
Introducing the new Clear Control 3D slit knives by SharpPoint, designed to facilitate instrument insertion through a multi-dimensional incision that's 22% thinner than standard slit knives and requires 35% lower penetration force. Visit SharpPoint to learn more.
You're watching ASCRS-ASOA Today. This year, as every year at the annual meeting, ASCRS will induct a new president. Faced with a year of new initiatives and the responsibility of meeting the growing challenges that faced ophthalmologists and medicine in general, the ASCRS president's one-year term promises to be a full one. The new 2013-2014 ASCRS president is Dr. Eric Donnenfeld, an established and widely recognized surgeon who joined ASCRS in 1985, fresh from completing his residency. Dr. Donnenfeld is a founding partner of Ophthalmic Consultants of Long Island and Ophthalmic Consultants of Connecticut, National Medical Director of TLC Laser Eye Centers, and Surgical Director of the Lions Eye Bank of Long Island. He is a clinical professor of ophthalmology at New York University Medical Center. He follows outgoing president, Dr. David Chang.
I see this as a very exciting time in ophthalmology, but it's a challenging time as well. And ASCRS is the organization that's really there for the ophthalmologist who wants to improve patient care and resolve some of the issues that they're seeing today and find answers to their questions. ASCRS is the organization that's there for its members, and that's what I hope to do, is to be one of the people who help provide the answers for the average ophthalmologist who's challenged by what's going on in the world today. If there's one thing you can do to react to the problems and the challenges of healthcare moving forward today in 2013, it's ASCRS. We provide the answers to the questions that you have on a regular basis. We have an amazing staff and wonderful ophthalmologists working with us on a regular basis who are only thinking about what we can do to advance ophthalmology.
Dr. Donnenfeld becomes part of a 30-year tradition that includes some of the most accomplished ophthalmologists in the field. This annual changing of the guard gives the incoming president and the outgoing president, as well as the ASCRS-ASOA leadership and the membership, a moment to reflect on what the organization means to the field of ophthalmology and the work that lies ahead.
I'd like to begin by saying what an extraordinary job David Chang has done as president of ASCRS. I can't imagine a more dedicated individual than David. David continues the long legacy of extraordinary people in ophthalmology. When you think of ASCRS, you think of these extraordinary, dedicated individuals who make a difference in ophthalmology. And these individuals are rare and they're special, and David Chang is one of these individuals.
The president is not a ceremonial figurehead by any means. The president is the person who coordinates the entire executive committee and really is responsible for decision-making at the ultimate level about communications, dealing with urgent issues, whether they're surgical and medical or whether they're political, chairing the monthly phone calls, conference calls, but beyond that, the extra calls, and really, typically the president is in communication with Dave Karcher, who's the executive director, and the terrific staff in Fairfax, Virginia, multiple times a week. And there's a flood of emails, lots of special phone calls, lots of interaction, things that have to be dealt with. So it's a very, very busy year, but at the end, even though you could say, well, it's exhausting, and it is to some extent, and a bit of a strain, but it's really dynamic. And I think every person who's done it has left being really grateful for the opportunity to have a positive impact on such a wonderful organization and to help guide it to deal with the current issues and also to grow and evolve in a positive way.
Well, being president of ASCRS has certainly been a wonderful privilege and an honor. I knew it would be a lot of hard work, but surprisingly, I feel I've just really learned a lot. There is so much this organization does, and until I've been in this position, I didn't really get to work up close and personal with all of the different staff members and all of the different committees that really advocate on behalf of our members. And the teamwork and the dedication, the volunteerism that everyone displays is pretty inspiring, because this is not a for-profit company. It's really all people that care about our profession and our members and our patients. So I just want to tell you, the members, that you have a wonderful organization here. You have wonderful leadership. A lot of things I know happen behind the scenes.
You're watching ASCRS-ASOA Today.
Now available in booth 702. Oasis Iris Expander. Expand your view and sustain access.
Introducing the new Clear Control 3D slit knives by SharpPoint, designed to facilitate instrument insertion through a multi-dimensional incision that's 22% thinner than standard slit knives and requires 35% lower penetration force. Visit SharpPoint to learn more.
You're watching ASCRS-ASOA Today. The first 5 years of practice can be a time of enormous growth for the anterior segment surgeon. The ASCRS Young Physicians Committee understands that this population has specific educational needs, and to meet those needs, they have developed ways to help develop the next generation of ophthalmologists. Clara Chan is one of the young physicians working to pre-select portions of the meeting that are a good fit for young physicians just starting their careers.
So I think when a young physician or resident goes to the ASCRS meeting and they have their program, they can look through and just sort of, firstly, they determine what their own needs are. If they're very comfortable with their cataract surgery skills, then perhaps they want to explore the more subspecialty interests type of sessions, either in cornea or glaucoma. Now with the onset of MIGS, microincisional glaucoma surgery options, maybe they want to visit some of those sessions. Also, one of the issues that residents highlighted in a survey for us was that they didn't feel as comfortable with their experience in their residency training with refractive surgery and how to incorporate refractive surgery into their cataract surgery practice. And so with this meeting, they could select, for example, sessions to help with that, and that would target more refractive surgery teaching curricula that would be suitable for a cataract surgeon. So there is a session that is sponsored by our ASCRS Young Physicians and Residents Clinical Committee. It is a video session where we showcase all the sort of tough cases that we've experienced as a group from the clinical committee. And so we present these various cases and we talk about them and we sit on the panel together and we discuss different approaches to these difficult cases. And so while it is an event that's sponsored by the clinical committee of the young physicians and residents, really it's open to anyone, and anyone who is interested to learn through video cases as well as learning through the difficult cases of other people would learn something from this session.
We hope you packed your running shoes for Sunday morning as we launch the first ASCRS Foundation Run for Sight. All proceeds from the 5-kilometer 1-mile walk, which is sponsored by Tear Lab, will go to benefit the ASCRS Foundation and its important work in humanitarian eye care.
San Francisco is a great location for this. We're also the scene of the annual Beta Breakers race, which is very legendary in the city. So it would be great to see ASCRS and ASOA members out there getting a little exercise Sunday morning in support of a good cause.
Make sure to take advantage of your time here and attend some of the numerous iWorld educational activities. You can find a full listing of these events in the iWorld Pocket Guide, located in your tote bag, and our It's in the Bag door drop. iWorld program details are also listed within the ASCRS-ASOA and iWorld 2013 app. This Friday, we have multiple iWorld events you can take advantage of that cover many interesting topics in glaucoma, LASIK, and laser cataract surgery. Also, this Friday evening, make sure to attend the Abbott Live Surgery broadcasting from Los Angeles. This exciting event is taking place at the Nob Hill Masonic Center. Saturday morning, iWorld's corporate morning program is taking place with over 13 symposia to choose from. You can find a complete listing in the iWorld Pocket Guide and on the iWorld Corporate Morning Flyer. The iWorld Theater opens today and kicks off with a lunch symposium discussing new technologies and techniques for tackling corneal astigmatism. Make sure to arrive early as these sessions fill quickly. iWorld also has numerous symposia that offers CME credit as well. For a full listing, please refer to the iWorld Pocket Guide. This afternoon, iWorld will be teaming up with the ASCRS Cataract Clinic Committee and Ophthalmology Business to bring you a CME symposium focusing on the ethical issues surrounding the marketing of femtosecond laser cataract surgery. This program takes place at 4:45 p.m. in room 131 in Moscone Center North. Another exciting program on micro-evasive glaucoma surgery will be taking place this afternoon in the iWorld Theater. Please refer to the iWorld Pocket Guide for a full listing of iWorld programs, times, and locations. You're watching ASCRS-ASOA Today.
The potential in the refractive market is growing. Nearly 80 million Gen Yers are moving into the ideal age for LASIK, and millions of baby boomers are becoming candidates for premium IOLs and more. CareCredit can help you cultivate your share of the potential. Ask your practice development team for details or access the tools at carecredit.com. CareCredit, making care possible today.
Now available in booth 702. Oasis Iris Expander. Expand your view and sustain access.
You're watching ASCRS-ASOA Today. The core mission of ASCRS and ASOA is education. Last year, in an effort to expand that mission, ASCRS launched its residency and fellow program. In just a short time, the program has evolved into an important mechanism for new physicians to become more involved in the world of anterior segment eye surgery. For those who developed the program, it was important that medical students have access to an educational track designed specifically for them, and at no cost. This year, we expect nearly 200 residents and fellows to attend ASCRS free of charge.
At ASCRS, we are the organization that will provide the young ophthalmologists with the tools to go forward and be successful in their practice, whether it be business management or management of refractive surgery or MIGS. All these exciting new areas are being embraced by ASCRS, and we want young ophthalmologists to learn about them. So if you come to our meeting, you will find things to be educated on that you never saw during your residency, and it's going to make you a more complete ophthalmologist.
ASCRS really offers an excellent opportunity for residents and fellows to participate in a different educational process than what they're involved with in their own residency. It also gives them the opportunity in a relatively intimate environment to really meet with the leaders in ophthalmology who do the kinds of things that they're going to be wanting to do once they get in practice. Certainly we all take a great umbrage to our teachers that we have in our residency and fellowship training programs. But the ability to come to a major national meeting and meet with a variety of different people outside of their own institution is invaluable. ASCRS is also constantly looking for residents and fellows who are going to be the next leaders. As much as I would like to admit it, I'm getting to be a little gray on the sideburns, and it's very important that, that our ability to continue the missions that we've had with education be passed on to the next generation. So ASCRS has always been a leader in trying to foster the relationships with residents and fellows and encourage their participation in our meeting and in our society. They represent the future.
You're watching ASCRS-ASOA Today. You're watching ASCRS-ASOA Today. Since 1975, the Binkhorst Medal has been awarded to the world's most prominent ophthalmologists whose careers have made significant contributions to the science and practice of ophthalmology. During his distinguished career, Dr. Nick Mamoulis' work has established him as a foremost leader in the field of ophthalmology and a primary force in the study and understanding of toxic anterior segment syndrome. This year, Nick Mamoulis will deliver the prestigious Binkhorst Lecture during Saturday's opening general session. His lecture, entitled Intraocular Lens Evolution, What a Long, Strange Trip It's Been, will explore the history and future of intraocular lens implantation and trace the surgical technique from its beginning to the next technological frontier, where surgeons will provide clear, uncorrected distance, intermediate, and near vision following cataract surgery. Dr. Mamoulis is a professor of ophthalmology at the University of Utah and the director of the Ophthalmic Pathology Laboratory at the University of Utah's John A. Moran Eye Center, the co-director of the Intermountain Ocular Research Center, and an editor of the Journal of Cataract and Refractive Surgery. He also established a center at the University of Utah to evaluate unexplained postoperative anterior segment inflammation and is chairman of the ASCRS Toxic Anterior Segment Syndrome Task Force.
Nick Mamoulis is one of the legendary figures in ophthalmology. He's been doing an extraordinary job for the last 25 years at the University of Utah, and he's made just amazing contributions to ASCRS. He's been editor of the journal, he's been on several committees, and finding answers so that when you have a problem, you know there's one person to call. And for his scientific integrity, his dedication to ophthalmology, and the incredible work that he's done over the last decade, he is the most deserving lecturer I could possibly imagine.
Very fitting that this year that lecture will be given by Dr. Nick Mamoulis. Nick's contributions, I think, are well known to the ophthalmic community, but in particular, two things to highlight. He has certainly been one of the leaders now in the area of IOL ocular pathology. He trained under David Apple and now has carried on that legacy at the Moran, working in conjunction with people like Liliana Werner to continue to teach us about complications with IOLs and what's the best way to design an IOL. The other big contribution for Nick has been to be the go-to person for toxic anterior segment syndrome, or TAS. This continues to be, I think, one of the sort of common but underreported complications of cataract surgery. And through Nick's leadership, we've learned a lot about it and really continue to learn about and decide what's the best way to sterilize ocular instruments.
You're watching ASCRS-ASOA Today.